So we were previously looking at this from the view of a large corporate who are looking at their supply chain and addressing that and saying, okay, how do we ensure diversity and ESG, good ESG standards within our supply chain? Very important side of it. If we flip that around the other way and look at it from a supplier's point of view, I think the point you've just brought up there is a really, really good point around, for example, diversity in services, particularly where, so the social side of it, you've got diversity within the workforce and inclusion within the workforce, but then you've also got the fact that it's not necessarily so location bound. So how do you see, what advice would you give, and appreciate that you consult professionally, so don't give everything away, but at a very, very top level, what are the kind of key things for a supplier to look at their own diversity and ESG program, particularly on the diversity side in this scenario? How can they go about addressing that effectively?
You mean diversity and inclusion in their workforce or overall?
Well, overall, because diversity and inclusion in their workforce is one thing, but then there's the other factor you just talked about with regards to the impact on where they are, because it's quite hard to pin down services providers these days. A lot of consulting firms and everything's gone virtual. So it's almost like, well, where are they? Does that matter so much in that scenario?
Yeah. Well, I think that's a very, very valid question and point. I was just attending or participating in a panel discussion around LGBTIQ in SMEs and how that is perceived, and how also lesbian women are choosing where they work. So they look at the diversity and inclusion policies or information of a SME as well. So no person of an underrepresented group wants to work for a company, if it's big or small, that has no inclusive policy or not policy but mindset, right? Yeah. You want to work in a company where you can be totally yourself and you can share any information and don't have to hide that you might, I don't know, who you meet or where you're from or what you believe, whatever. So I think that's a very, very interesting or important point for any company, that you need to have an inclusive environment to make sure you attract a diverse workforce. That's where it starts.
Yeah, and in that way, it's almost self-fulfilling prophecy. If an organization has the right mindset, they're going to have the right policies and infrastructure in place, and they're going to communicate that effectively, and that's going to be attractive to a diverse range of people that could work with them or work for them.
Right. But let me add, maybe at the end of the day, if you're a big or small business, you want to work with the most innovative and best for your business supplier. So, and that is if you're big or small, is including any kind of supplier for your RFP, and make sure that you are looking at a diversity of suppliers when you have your tenders, and then choose from there. It's, as I said before, it's not about positive discrimination. So you usually don't win a business just because you're diverse owned, but you win a business because you are included in that RFP, and then you are just providing great results.